We are following that breaking news out of Turkey and Syria this morning. Rescue efforts are underway right now after that catastrophic 7.8 magnitude earthquake hitting the region overnight. We know at this point more than 2,300 people have been killed. There are urgent searches right now to try and find people who are alive and trapped underneath all of the rubble of collapsed buildings. I want to give you a look this morning as to where this is all happening. It hit central Turkey and northwest Syria along a major fault line. This quake was the worst to hit Turkey in a century. The death toll expected to rise. This video that we're going to share with you now gives you an idea of just how bad some of the damage is from above. Buildings just destroyed, crumbling straight to the ground. One Syrian man told Reuters it feels like the apocalypse. NewsNation's Nick Smith has been tracking the very latest this morning and joins us with another update. Nick, what are we hearing at this hour out of Turkey?
Marni, more deaths. The numbers continue to rise. You know, we've been covering this all morning. And Marni, one of the reasons for the devastation is the fact that it happened in the middle of the night when many people were asleep. The quake was so strong, even the coast of Italy was briefly put on alert for a possible tsunami. A hotel in southern Turkey is among the many buildings that collapsed when the quake hit around 4 a.m. local time. It's among the strongest on record in Turkey. Take a look at some of this video. Rescue workers and local residents desperate to save hundreds of people believed to be trapped beneath the rubble. The White House has already announced that assistance is on the way. And take a look at this. I want you to see this picture right here. This image shows a mosque destroyed in the quake. That confirmed dead continues to rise, Marni.
Nick, do we have any understanding at this point about how widespread the damage is, how far-reaching? First responders, have they been able to assess, given the early morning hour the quake hit, as they're working to recover?
Marni, well, you saw when you led in with that map how vast the area is. And so imagine how rescue workers still need to get some of those remote areas to check out the buildings there. At this hour, everything is still preliminary. But as officials survey the damage, authorities have closed airports and airspace in southwest Turkey. The damage wasn't only to south central Turkey, but also to neighboring Syria. Now, that 7.8 magnitude earthquake was followed by a series of aftershocks, leaving a rising number of people dead and dozens of buildings leveled. The main tremor felt by victims of the quake in at least 9 cities. Survivors out of breath and in a daze searching for loved ones buried in debris. Now, the epicenter was here in the Turkish city of Kahramanmaraş. That's near the border with Syria. Now, it's so close that the Syrian Civil Defense declared an emergency, activating teams to try and rescue those trapped beneath all of that rubble. Now, the quake hitting an area where millions of Syrian refugees are living. More than 300 people have died there, with almost 1,000 more who were injured. Now, a witness from the scene says 12 families used to live in this building, but none were able to get out. Northern Syria has been involved in a civil war for nearly a decade and was already struggling, Marni, to provide necessities like medical care.
Wow, and so densely populated this area, Nick. As we look at some of the damage, you mentioned that the White House is responding. What else are we hearing from President Biden this morning in terms of sending aid?
Now, the damage in Turkey, extensive, those homes still fighting with those structures. We heard from the defense secretary, who said that the Biden administration will continue to send aid and that they have rescue workers ready to get to the area as soon as is possible. The U.S. response options are to help those who are most affected. And now, of course, was Jake Sullivan who sent that statement to NewsNation. And they also, we heard from Erdogan, who also tweeted earlier, the president of Turkey. He said the quake was felt in many parts of the country, and adding search and rescue teams were immediately dispatched, and expressing hope that we will get through this disaster together. Now, the death toll between Turkey and Syria is staggering, and search crews are really only at the beginning of combing through all of this rubble, Marni.
Yep, and as we mentioned moments ago, this area is a hotbed of seismic activity. There are a couple of fault lines right there throughout the region. The death toll expected to rise throughout the morning, but the focus right now is on recovery efforts. Nick Smith in the newsroom. Nick, thank you. We'll be coming back to you as we follow that throughout the hour. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.